And as soon as it goes live, we're going to play the little intro.
There we go. Like that?
Yeah.
Hey, you can sing us a quick intro song if you like, Andrew. Just make one up. Sing it real quick. There you go.
Burning sadness. Oh, you're burning the sadness. Oh, burning. Oh.
Nice.
Andrew Ferrara, welcome to Burning the Set List. Thank you so much for being here.
It started off much more sexual than I intended.
Yeah.
That's a
Kind
good.
of like it.
You like that? Yeah.
We found that little bass line somewhere on the internet, and we were like, "Yeah, that'll work. Let's do it." It was the first one we found.
We're like, yeah, that'll make Andrew come. That'll be good.
It'd be perfect.
Oh, that really. You're so generous.
Yeah. So, if the live stream screwed up, somebody let us know. Send us a message if you want to comment.
Looks good here.
Excellent. If you want us to read your comments during the show, you got to do it on the Burning the Set List page because I'm not monitoring all of them. I am pretty lazy. But here we are, another night. For those of you joining us for the first time, I'm Compton. That's Govna, and that's Andrew. And we're gonna have a good night. We're gonna watch some of Andrew's comedy, and we're gonna talk about a bunch of stuff that is going on in the comedy world. But first off, like I said, how you doing, Andrew? What's been going on, man? You guys survive that weather?
Oh, we tried to survive the weather. Unfortunately, part of the stand-up comedy scene did not survive the weather.
Yeah.
I don't mean comedians died. I mean, we're good. They survived.
Comedians
But-
die all the time.
Oh, sorry, my poor puppy wants to be a part of this. Come on, baby. So a tornado hit my beautiful venue, the venue that brought comedy back to Pensacola,
Yeah.
Emerald Republic. They were wonderful hosts for the past 6 months. I couldn't be more appreciative that they gave us a new home, and it's really devastating. They won't be back up and running probably for 6 months, they said.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah, it's rough. And, you know, it was a good mic. We had a good mic every week there. And then we were actually about to start transforming it into a booked show. And so it's a real bummer, but, you know, we move on. We find new places and we wish them well. And if anyone can help out with anything that's in the Pensacola area for Emerald Republic, I know they'd really appreciate it. They're amazing business owners and we love them. And it's very sad.
Yeah, those pictures were devastating, man. Seeing the roof just.
They lost the roof, right?
Oh.
I think the whole roof got taken.
The entire roof, and the inside is just destroyed.
Got it.
You know, the big brewing tanks, like
What? Not the brewing tanks.
the most important part of the brewery.
Not save the beer.
Man, yeah, it's a shame. We had a real good run there. Everybody had a good old time, but what will be will be.
Yeah.
We move forward.
I had a good time there. I was there a couple of times actually. Beautiful place. Beautiful place. Actually,
And my boss, who came to the New Year's Eve show, has not stopped talking about you.
Oh yeah.
She keeps saying that she's brought it up like 5 different times. She's like, I just wanted to reach up under that kilt and see if he was telling the truth. I was like, oh my God. And her husband's like right there next to her while she's saying it. I'm like, all right, maybe they into this sort of thing. You might have a little throuple you could get over at Buff City Soap, Gulf Breeze, Florida, and Tiger Point.
Nice.
That's Pensacola for you. Hey, that's not as bad as the lady who fell for the trick on stage. Like she came up and fell for it in front of her husband, so I basically cucked a dude in the audience. It was a very strange moment. It was a very strange moment.
Okay. Not many people can say that.
That's right. But
That should go on your credits and your bio.
Well, on stage hand job. Put that in your bio.
I will.
Hey, sex work is work.
Speaking of in the bio, again, thanks for joining us on short notice because both Governor and I are coming out to do a show in Pensacola next Saturday, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Dolce and Gelato.
going to be a
You've
good
been
time.
doing that show for a while then, huh?
So we had the Dolce and Gelato show for a while, for about, I guess, a year and a half. Carol Rivers and Leah Holcomb were running it.
Goose.
And then pandemic happened, and Dolce reached out to me and just like, hey, I see you've started things back up. We really want to do it again.
Yeah.
So we're
Cool.
on. We're getting it going. This will be our first one back at Dolce.
Nice.
So it should be a big old hit. And I mean, how can you not want to go there? They got gelato.
Yeah. Free
You
gelato.
don't fucking like comedy.
The only
They
thing,
like the comedy, come for the gelato. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
the only thing better will
They
be
like the dick jokes, have an ice cream.
Mm.
I just want
So that's
some.
how you're paying us an ice cream, I take it, huh?
Yes, I forgot to mention that.
Don't you can't give away all the secrets,
Get a
Governor.
gallon though, and a gallon of gelato is a shit ton of money.
Yeah. Yeah. That's big money right there.
Honestly, you could just go, I'll give you the gallon and you go sell it on the street, undercut them maybe $1.
Yeah.
And you'll be rich.
Yeah, I'd be on the street corner with my long raincoat.
A gallon of gelato and
Black market gelato salesman on the street corner.
well, I'm doing the math right now, and I'm trying to figure out exactly how much meth a gallon of gelato is in Florida, and I'd say you could be
How much meth?
Yeah.
yeah.
That's how Compton works out prices for everything. You should
Yeah.
see them in the supermarket. It's crazy.
Well, I've been working in
sure are.
Florida a lot, so I'm getting used to the local currency.
I'll tell you, in Pensacola, Florida, on Grindr, I'm pretty sure meth is currency. So you can get anyone on Grindr. You got a little meth.
Duly noted.
Mhm.
Hey, so
Unfortunately, I don't have a plug, so I'm not getting laid.
yeah, I've thought about would I rather be single or would I rather be a drug dealer, and I'm gonna go with single. I'm okay with it.
I don't know. I might actually reweigh these options now that you say that. Drug dealer does sound good.
Well, you could be the only gelato dealer outside of Dolce and Gelato. So,
Ooh. Ooh.
what time is that
Now,
show?
wait a minute, I just realized if it goes recreational marijuana,
Mm-hmm.
I bet I convince her to do some THC gelato there.
Oh,
There
yeah,
you
sure.
go.
So please, everyone vote.
Now you're speaking my
Yeah.
language. Is that close in Florida? I don't keep up with Florida politics as much as I do
I
Alabama.
mean, if they put it on the bill, it's gonna get passed. Like we've
I thought
always.
it was already passed, wasn't it? Wasn't it passed
Well,
last?
we got medical. And
Oh, medical, yeah.
That's real,
That's-
like overwhelming. So
Right.
you put
It should be.
recreational on there, it's gonna pass.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be a good, no-brainer, right?
Yeah, it's Florida. Why aren't we like Portland? I'm surprised that Portland beat out Florida for legalizing every fucking drug there is.
Right.
That's
Right.
pretty impressive. You got to give it to them. They
They
were-
out-Floridaed Florida.
You know what? Once the pandemic happened, everyone tried to out Florida. I feel like.
Yeah, that was the thing.
It's not fair.
Yeah.
and California came out as the most Florida of them all.
Well, I can't believe that Tiger King guy wasn't in Florida. I thought that was a definite Florida guy right there.
Where was he? Ohio?
Yeah, that's outrageous. I thought that's.
What?
I was shocked. I thought that looks like a Florida guy right there.
Tiger.
But he had a rivalry with someone in Florida, so it all kind of.
Oh yeah, I guess it kind of mixes up. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the murder lady is definitely the Florida character.
Terrible.
in that
Alleged
series.
murdered lady. I think we ought to just put that in there.
Gosh, I want to go to her tiger ranch so bad.
I'm pretty sure if you own tigers, you are murdering something regularly. It may not be people all the
You gotta
time.
feed it somehow, right? You gotta feed it.
Yeah.
You gotta
If you're
feed
in
that
charge of a field of murderers, you're going to murder something. Anyway, So what else is going on exciting over there in Pensacola, Andrew? You guys, the other big thing that I wanted to make sure to get you to talk about, Bride Comedy Fest is coming up, Memorial Day weekend.
Oh, and look at this beauty.
What? I can't read it, but I
This
see a
is
unicorn.
The coveted Queer of the Year trophy.
Where did you get that?
Well, I ordered it on Etsy, and then I, of course, put rhinestones all over it.
Nice.
Because apparently it wasn't gay enough. We had to do that. But yeah, the P3 Comedy Fest, Memorial Day weekend in Pensacola, the 28th, 29th, and 30th of May. We have amazing comedians coming. I'm freaking stoked. Nikki Carr from Last Comic Standing and BT and honestly, everywhere. She's been doing comedy for like 25 years. Then we've got Jen Snyder.
I was going to say one of my favorites, Jen Snyder.
Oh, fantastic. Jeff D from New Orleans.
Oh yeah, he's
Daroon.
Great. And we got Hillary Begley from North Carolina and Netflix's Dumpling. She's also in another movie, but she'll tell you herself that it was terrible, so she probably doesn't even want me to mention it.
Struck that one from the bio.
One on the Christian Family sect right now. So
Oh, yeah.
And then we also have Ian Hebert from Atlanta. So
Oh yeah, he's good too.
yeah, those are our headliners. Plus, we have 20 other comedians from all over the nation.
That's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be great.
And
3 days, 5 different venues, 6 shows. It's gonna be a hoot and a holler and a half. So.
Nice. And somebody's gonna walk away with that unicorn.
Yeah, and $500.
Nice.
So how does the voting go? Is the audience voting, or do you got judges?
Is this a comedy competition? What's the deal?
Judges. Jen, Nikki, and Jeff D are going to judge.
Okay.
Yeah.
As well as the audience response as well. So there's going to be some percentages of such and such, a formula. The gayest
some math involved.
With, and that's going to be our Queer of the Year. I'm so excited because I've been planning this for now 2 years because we were supposed to have it last Memorial Day weekend. And so I have been itching to just get this going, and I'm so happy. Honestly, I'm happy that it took a little time to actually get to do it because we ended up picking up some bigger people to be on there who heard about it. And like Nikki Carr had reached out to me about it. I don't know her. Like, I know her from the television. I voted for her on Last Comic Standing. So, like, when she sent me a message on Instagram,
you're like, yeah.
I was like, what? Huh? And then she sent me it was just a beautiful moment for me as someone who loved that show as well, and she's just so damn funny. So, gosh, yeah, we got shows at the Cabaret in Pensacola, one of the only gay bars in Pensacola.
Appropriate.
Then we have Odd Colony. They're doing a 3.5 hour long show. We're gonna do
3.5 hours.
Yeah, 3 different shows throughout that period. Then we've got Cabaret's doing another show on Saturday. We have O'Reilly's doing our Saturday night. And then we have 3 hours of comedy matinee with, at Dolce and Gelato. And then another 3 hours of comedy for nighttime at Perfect Plane.
Nice.
So it's literally more comedy than you have ever taken in one sitting. So I'm really excited to provide that to this beautiful town. And we're raising money for TAPS. That's the Tragedy Assistant Program for Survivors. They actually provide mental health and financial services to grieving military families. So we're hoping to raise a good bit of money for them.
Nice.
And yeah. And I'll let you know why this is happening on Memorial Day weekend too. So it's pretty well known that Pensacola, Florida has one of the biggest gay pride events Memorial Day weekend. And I have spent year after year listening to people say that this shouldn't happen on Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, that's stupid.
That it's disrespectful.
Oh.
Well, here's what I have to think about it. these people died so that we could be free to be ourselves,
Yeah.
and we owe it to them, and that's why we celebrate on this weekend.
Yeah.
We celebrate Memorial Day weekend. We don't, it's not, necessarily the pride event, but we celebrate Memorial Day weekend because we're celebrating those people who fought for us to be who we are.
Right.
And I wanted to kind of change the stigma around the festivities because people think it has nothing to do with Memorial Day weekend, but it does. And I wanted to also show that, we want to help those people who are really in need, military families go through enough as it is. Yeah. And then when someone passes because they were out there fighting for us, the mental anguish, is just, it is hard to bear. So I know a lot of people being in a military town who've lost people, and I'm happy to be able to raise some money for something like this.
That's awesome.
Dude, that's great. If people want to donate, where do they go to donate?
So right now for donations, you can go on to, right now we have our ticket sales going. So we weren't really going for donations. We're looking for sponsorships though. Okay. So if you were to want to do a sponsorship of $100 or more, you'll get on our passes, our t-shirts. You'll be a part of our advertising. Shout outs at all the shows. And you can just go to P3 Comedy Fest on Facebook.
P3 Comedy
Find us, reach out to us, let us know you're interested in contributing in some way. And if you don't have, $100 or anything like that to do, and you do want to donate, you can go ahead and reach out to us there as well, and we can work it out. And anyone who donates $50 or more will get a free weekend pass. So,
nice.
Dude, find 3 friends, everybody chip in $25, and then you get to make your own logo for your stuff. Like, dude.
Exactly.
Come on. If we all know 3 people that can come up with $25, right? Maybe a year ago we did. Dude, that's very exciting. I am glad to see it coming off finally after horribly having to shut it down last year. That was going to be fun too, because last year we were going to have the Indie Fringe Fest, and then we were going to have the Pride Fest, and it was shaping up to be a good summer, and then pandemics happen.
And you know what pissed me off even more? They opened up the beaches Memorial Day weekend anyway. Like, screw it. Let's let them do what they do. And I'm like, you telling me? Damn it. Shit. But so be it. I'm just super excited to finally get to do it and have some awesome venues in on it this year. And yeah, it's going to be fun. Unfortunately, we won't be able to be on the beach this year because of that damn bridge. If you don't know, Pensacola Bridge got hit by a barge.
Nice.
And so there is no good direct route to the beach. It is now like an hour and a half to the beach, and it used to be 15 minutes.
Yeah. Wow. That's just for a town that's, oh man. Yeah. So the full story there, the barge that destroyed the bridge was part of the barge crew that built the bridge. And so now the people that won the contract to build the bridge are having to pay for the bridge to be built that they built and then ruined, which is just a very convoluted, crazy, very Pensacola thing to happen.
And I worked at the Hampton Inn and Suites that's right off the bridge.
Right.
So I worked with the head, of that whole bridge project all the time. And let me tell you, he should not have ever been put in charge of a $5 million project. This guy was so fucking stupid. I can't, he would come by and it would just hurt my brain every day. And I just, he was like 25, just out of college. No, dude, no. His name was Hunter. I don't care. Fine. Hunter from Skanska. He's the reason.
I have a very vivid mental image of that kid, and I guarantee.
Right.
It probably isn't. He has a very funny mustache.
Polos and khaki shorts, right?
Yes, polos, khaki shirts, and a funny mustache.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to be too mean, but yeah, we all know how that dude got that job.
I'll be so mean to this guy.
Not skill based. He's got a relative. There's a lot of nepotism in the world, and yeah, that dude. Anyway, he ruined it. He ruined the beach for everybody for years. It's gonna take him like all year to fix it too, right? Like this.
Because it was supposed to be done in March.
Whoa.
Now they're like, oh, it'll be done in June.
No.
And no, it's not going to be. It's a lie.
Damn, that's gonna be hard for downtown Pensacola, man. That's a whole a whole tourist season worth of lost revenue on top of the pandemic. Oh, that's gonna be rough. I'm sure there are a lot of businesses struggling.
Well, and then the beach too, because no one's coming from Pensacola over to the beach.
Oh yeah, everything on the boardwalk.
Beach has it actually worse off right now than anybody.
Yeah, man. Damn. Crazy. All right, well, let's change subjects. Let's get away from some of this business nonsense, which I enjoy, but I know I bore the shit out of people with. So let's talk about you, man. Before we watch some of your comedy, I found a great clip of you at Emerald Republic. It's about 6 minutes long. I figured it'd be a good one. It's got a nice little smattering of some of your new stuff. Also, some segues to talk about some of your personal stories. But I figured, give us the rundown first. How long you been doing comedy, Andrew?
So I am been doing it 6 years. Started over at the good old, well, it was the Big Easy Tavern back then.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know, the nice in basement. You know, rite of passage there.
Right.
Ugh. And,
Hey, they should have called it.
I've been doing it for 6 years. Started traveling 3 years ago, about 2.5 years ago, and I've been loving it ever since. It's been a wild journey. You know, I actually did stand up for the first time, like, actually 15 years ago.
What?
And yeah, and I never did it again. So
How did this happen? Was
so
this?
here's what happened. I was super excited. I had spent like a month writing a set out because they were going to have the first open mic night at UWF. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so much fun. So I get up there. I'm the first person called up. I'm doing my jokes. And I mean, they weren't good when I look back on them. But there was one table who really liked it. But everyone else looked extremely confused. Like what, they didn't see this coming. Turns out it was a music open mic, and I was unaware. So that moment discouraged me for some time because I wasn't aware of any of the comedy happening in Pensacola then. So like to me, it was just like, well, that was my one shot.
Oh no.
Everybody was just sitting there thinking. Everybody was just thinking, this is a very long intro to a song. When's he going to start playing?
So what do you get this guy a guitar?
It was some interesting jokes on there. I remember saying, I remember my first joke was a 9/11 joke. And then the second joke was a Terry Schiavo joke. I'm like, what am I doing with my life when I look back at it? But they were clever.
Yeah, for any new comedians, don't start out with the 9/11 jokes. You got to work up to that.
Yeah.
Don't come straight out of the gate with a 9/11 joke.
And it was much closer to 9/11. I mean, this was only like 4 years after 9/11.
Yeah, that's not going to go down very well.
No.
In a military town.
But that's interesting. It's interesting that you bring it up because it's a common phenomenon amongst comics. I can remember starting out and wanting to be able to tell jokes about things that I was thinking about and things that were relevant to my personal philosophies, like, you know, grandiose comedy. And it just didn't even occur to me. I couldn't conceive of how far away I was from being able to make that funny.
Right.
But I was very interested in trying it. And I think everybody, like, it seems that you start off, you bite off more than you could chew, and eventually you realize, oh, well, okay, let's give that a minute.
Yeah. You got to work up to the good stuff.
Yeah. The 9/11 joke was, since 9/11, 51% of the U.S. population has been born without a prostate. I think the terrorists won. That was the whole joke.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
It's not that bad. It's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Dude, it's pro women's rights. Like this is
That's a pro equality. Yeah.
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 that's a good joke. It's a good joke. If the 9/11 part bothers you, like that's not, you missed the joke then. That's way better than the first joke I ever told.
Statistics.
Yeah. Dude, that's very good for an opener, for a first-time opener. Very good. So, how much time did you do at the Florida show, the college show? Was it a tight 5?
Oh, that was 5. It was 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Remember, I talked about that. I talked about Vampire Jesus.
Okay.
Talked about my brother's porn habits.
Nice.
Yeah, it was all across the board. It was.
I'm shocked you can remember that.
Well, it was traumatizing. So yeah, I remember.
It's seared in your memory. Well, don't worry. I've already checked. It doesn't exist on YouTube. So
No.
we're not going to make you watch it.
Yeah, actually there wasn't YouTube then. I don't think.
How lucky are we? How lucky are we?
And we couldn't record video on our phone. It was actually my friend. Oh, my friend, I think, does have a video of it on like an old handheld camcorder, though.
I'm going to find out. I'm going to find out, and we're going to get it.
Yeah.
I will never give up that friend's name.
I have Facebook. Don't think it's impossible. Okay, so the clip.
If you can find that video, honestly, I'll give you $10 is enough.
$10.
$10 whole dollars.
Yeah.
It might not be that hard to.
You have no idea what Compton will do for $10.
Oh, I know what he can do for $10.
I can accomplish things. I can accomplish things. But speaking of YouTube, something that does exist on YouTube, I pulled this up. And this is from the sadly lost Emerald Republic.
You're outside on this
Mostly
one, right?
clean set.
Is it a mostly clean set?
Yeah, this is my clean set. Yeah.
Ah, nice.
Nice. Well, let's play some of this intro, and then we'll get you to tell the stories behind it. I'll pause it as we go along, so you feel free to chime in at any point.
I recently lost 80 pounds.
80 pounds.
Only gained 120 back. Woo! Now, I did lose 80 pounds again. I did. So I'm consistent, right? That's good. So by my count, I lost 160 pounds because Common Core math works. Yes! It works for you. I finally understand it. Oh gosh, guys, I know I don't look like it, but I have won a sit-up competition in middle school. Yeah. That presidential physical fitness test that everyone had to do? That's right. I never resented the president more. Until now. Until now, probably. But I will say, it is impressive because I was still fat then, okay? I've always been a chub. Now, here's how it happened though. Coach started the time, we all started doing our sit-ups. On sit-up number 3, which was everyone else's like sit-up 7 or so, I farted so loud that everyone stopped doing sit-ups and just started laughing. And I took that gas as rocket fuel and I was like, I'm gonna make Coach proud today, okay? And I won, which is why Gulf Breeze Middle School lost at regionals. Yes. When I win, everyone loses. I knew I should have taken performance-enhancing drugs, you know. Should have ate beans. Should have ate a bunch of beans, but didn't do it. Rookie mistake. That's why I'm not an athlete. But guys, I know also by looking at me, you could not tell, I am fat, but my abs are ripped, okay? Because I've got this abdominal hernia that I am dealing with, yes. I don't know if you know what that means, but basically, I'm so unhealthy that my body's trying to break loose from itself, you know? Just doing a prison break inside there with a spoon at the wall. just singing a tune, hoping his baby's gonna come home, come see him. He's just going, like, just gotta be a way out of here. Set my colon to my spleen. Yes.
Nice. Burst into song, huh? It's straight from a fart joke into a song. It's classic.
Yes. Oh,
So,
God, I love me some singing.
so you developed this clean set, because
Wait, that was your clean set?
Farts and fat.
but it's got a lot of your backstory in it, like all the weight loss that you talked about, and your abdominal hernia, which that was a scary moment, man.
So, here's the thing about this hernia. I never realized that it was an issue. Like, it was like, I went to my doctor about it first, and it was just like a little tiny thing, and like, he was just like, okay, wait, can you push it back in? I was like, we can try. And then he did it, and he's like, you're good. Like, thanks, doc. Not the case. Years later, down the line, it just got worse and worse. And I was, we won't say what happens when your hernia gets bad. It's not good. Restrooms are massacres. So basically, at this point, like, I don't even know if I should get the hernia surgery. Like, that joke just lands too much.
Who wants to
Also,
survive
I'm
when you got
afraid of
good
mesh.
material?
People have a lot of problems with that mesh that they install.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, it reminds me of vaginal mesh because I keep hearing that on other commercials. And I don't
That could be a whole new batch of material if you got some vaginal mesh in your abs.
Ooh, maybe I can get some men with that. So
You could probably you could probably trick a lot of bi-curious people and be like, look, I got this vaginal mesh. Just
In my guts.
get in my guts. Oh God. But yeah, so since then, since it got really bad, I really was like, okay, I need to figure out what I can do to better this because I don't got health insurance. And that's expensive to fix through surgery. So I took to the treadmill and to the diet, and right now I've lost 85 pounds total.
dude, congratulations.
Yeah, since June. So
Nice.
now I'm just, I really want to get to that 100-pound mark. I can do it. I just working on it.
You're not far away, man. Just a couple of months at that rate.
But I am the I don't know. I haven't done this before. I mean, I lost like 95 pounds, and then, like I said in the joke, and then I gained 120, and now I've lost again. So it's like, this is just a constant battle. Binge eating disorder is not good, guys.
Oh, amen. My worst is eating right before bed. I love eating late at night, and it is horrible for me.
Yeah.
I had a sleep eating problem.
What?
You ate during your sleep?
Yep.
How did you do that?
Well, I had a sleepwalking problem for a while. And like, I remember when I was little, I woke up on top of our our billiards table. And did not realize it at the time. And I would go to where I was like, where am I? I'm looking for a door because I don't even process that I'm in my own house at this time. I'm like, I've been kidnapped. I'm just feeling the walls and just like yelling, help, help. And then my mom walks in. She's just like, what's wrong? And then I shit my pants. And it was a whole ordeal. But that's when I found out that I slept walk. Apparently I did for a long time and just no one told me about it really. It was like, oh, it's Andrew.
Nice.
And then that developed into me sleep eating, where I literally would gorge myself and not realize it till the next morning when everything hurt. And Yeah, so that was a problem for a while. But we're better now.
You get a
Dude,
lot done in your sleep. You get more done in your sleep than, than we do in the...
I'm pretty impressed myself. Yeah.
Are you asleep now? Or how do we know you're not asleep right now?
Honestly, I ask myself all the time. I'm fairly sure I'm awake.
You know that Mike, what's his name, Burbigula? He has quite a whole bit on sleepwalking, and he ended up having to. I think even now he sleeps in like a straitjacket or something just to keep himself in the bed.
yeah, he jumped out of a hotel room window.
Oh yeah, that's right. One time he jumped out of a
Yeah.
hotel room window in his sleep.
Yeah,
That's fucking bad.
that's why it's amazing. That's why it's
He has to, like,
amazing.
tie himself into the bed.
Yeah, I can't believe nobody told you about that, because that can be dangerous.
Yeah.
That's crazy,
Who cares?
dude.
Who cares? But yeah, now it's kind of reduced to something else that's very strange. So I learned this while on tour with people. Now instead of sleepwalking, I sit up straight in the middle of the night, like in a meditative pose almost,
Nice.
and either chant or sing in my sleep.
Well, that's good. Sleep yoga, huh? Nice.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think I need some sort of sleep aid. I'm not sure. I maybe need to go see a doctor for that as well. But
Sleep
Oh,
eating
nice,
and
yeah.
sleep meditating. I like the meditating visual. I just like to imagine you sitting up, like grabbing your prayer beads and doing your mantras at 2 a.m.
Bed Buddha. That's what they call him.
I'm sure that was
But I
hilarious.
also read that, like shamanic cultures, if you sing in your sleep,
Yeah.
that they fast track you to like being a shaman and immediately start training you.
Oh
So
yeah,
You ought to go for that.
I'm gonna try.
you
Shame.
you could
Yeah.
be a reincarnated Buddha. You gotta go find out. Talk to the Dalai Lama and shit. That'd be
I
home.
doubt it. Just knowing myself as a human, I don't think
Hey,
I'm Buddha.
a sleep eating
think so.
disorder would be pretty easy to narrow down. Like you'd be like, all right, who was the last Tibetan monk in here that had a sleep eating disorder? And we think we found his reincarnation.
And for some reason, it's in Pensacola, Florida.
Well,
Bit of a change of pace from Tibet. Yeah, that whole Tibet thing wasn't working out. We're going to go to Pensacola, Florida now.
Hey, it's a good spot.
dude, all right, let's see. Let's see what else is in this video. I won't make you describe it. We'll just watch it.
It's bad. It's bad. And honestly, I don't know if you've ever seen one too. It just looks like this big lump right here on my stomach, and it just looks like the chest burster alien from Aliens got lost in the fat. It was like trying to find its way out, and then it found something comfortable. It was like, I'll chill right here. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Pretty nice. Oh gosh, you guys. Let's see a little bit more about me. I am originally from Brooklyn, New York. I have a big Italian Catholic family. Let's hear it for family. Let's hear it for Catholicism. No. But I have a grandmother who's 93 years old, still kicking. Yeah, amazing, right? And it's sad because no one goes and talks to her. She's very lonely. But she's so old, she's giving away all the family secrets. So I'm like, Grandma, you lonely? Let's gossip, girl. Let's do it. And my grandma, last time I was there, she goes, you know, back in New York, everyone in the neighborhood was in the mafia. Okay, Grandma, more, please, more. She said, well, yeah, your mother, you know, she babysat for the mafia. What? I don't think I'm supposed to know that. I don't think I'm supposed to know that. No. And then I was thinking, like, babysat for the mafia. Was she babysitting their kids or was she watching the hostages? This is becoming a little too incriminating, Grandma. And then she went on to tell me, yeah, it was normal. It was normal, you know. I would make them blueberry muffins. The mafia would come every morning, grab them muffins, and they'd protect us. Those must be some really good blueberry muffins, Grandma. Also, why have you never made me a blueberry muffin? Like, at this point, that recipe, you better tell me it because it could save my life. It could save my life. Like, what is going on, Grandma? And I always wondered why we moved from Brooklyn, New York to Gulf Breeze, Florida, and clearly, witness protection program, guys, definitely. Every time a cop pulls me over and I give him my ID, I'm like, shit, I hope that's him. I hope it's me. Is that me? Like, I'm sorry, officer, if this isn't me. Like, I'm sorry. Oh, gosh. Yeah, I love my family, got a huge family. But I'm a little angry at my brothers because they are terrible at naming babies. I have nieces with such strange names. Like, one of them is named Marceline, which I was like, that sounds made up. And I found out later that it is the name of a vampire lady in a cartoon. So it was made up. It was made up. Oh gosh. And then another one, we are Italian. My brother married a woman from Venezuela. I was like, that is gonna have a beautiful name. That little girl is gonna be fabulous. They named that girl Natasha. What sort of Soviet BS is that? This is America. At least make it Italian American or whatever Venezuelan American is, I'm not sure, but I'm sure it's gorgeous. Not Natasha. Middle name Esther. Ugh. Ugh. And then my other brother named their kid Callie. I didn't know you were giving birth to a golden retriever. Okay. Cool. Very cool.
Excellent.
I love my family.
Nice
Honestly,
work.
They're the best.
Dude,
I feel bad. So many people don't have good families. And whenever people bring up their shitty families, I'm like, oh, we get along. We love each other. But gosh, they're crazy. And we're all so similar and loud as fuck. Like way too loud. And my grandma, oh, she's the best. She's so sweet.
well, I think your next sticker.
Happy that I was telling all the secrets that she told me, but you know.
I think your next sticker should be Mafia Muffins.
Oh, that's lit. That's what I was gonna do. It was gonna be called Mafia Muffins.
Yeah, for
How'd
sure.
you know?
Because it's a good idea. That's why. You should definitely do that. The Natasha Esther from Venezuela. Dude.
Kill me. I was so pissed. I was so pissed.
Isn't
I don't really even understand how they could have come up with this bullshit.
Isn't plastic surgery very popular in Venezuela? Like, isn't it?
I believe so.
Isn't it a crazy thing? People go down there to get plastic surgery. I don't know. You just don't see a lot of Esthers with fake tits. You know what I mean?
No. Oh, Esther. God, why would you do that? I still don't understand. Like, I kind of block it out every time until I hear that bit. I'm like, oh no, that really is her name.
I have to feel bad for this person all over again.
And also, I didn't include this in that bit, but one of my nephew's names is Carmine, which is Italian, but like too old. Just too old. Like,
yeah, that's a gangster name, like Carmine Falcone or something like that, right?
Yeah, we can't call him Carmine until he's at least like what, 47 or 49.
Yeah, that dude was in Batman Returns, and he was played by I can't remember the actor's name, but you can't have a Carmine. You can't have a Carmine without Mafia Muffins. That's what you can't have.
That's right.
You want to know how to get Carmine and Esther together? Mafia Muffins. That's how that works.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So have you been telling those jokes, the family jokes, for a while, or is all of that recent stuff?
So I had told the Mafia Muffins one previously, but I had not told the hostages part or the witness protection program part. So those parts are new to that bit. And then everything else on that set, other than the hernia, well, the hernia part's actually new too. The hernia one was at least this past year, but like the farting sit-ups, the common core math ones, those I've been doing for a long time. And it's funny that I've been doing the common core one for a long time, because that just means that I gain weight and lose weight so often that I'm still able to do that joke. It's so sad.
That's always the way. That's always the way. Dude.
But yeah, generally all of that's pretty new. Because honestly, like, I mean, I have some real dirty stuff, and then that I don't do very often anymore. And then I have my normal gay stuff, and I was like, I need to branch out. Like, I don't want to just be the gay. Which I'm fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But it was like, I need to force myself to sit down and come up with some other stuff. Like I started doing some stuff about my personality disorder.
Well.
He's on the drugs, huh?
So I've been working on those lately, and those have been going pretty well. So I'm really excited to kind of delve into mental health a little more into my set.
So who's got your hookup on the hillbilly mating call there? Who supplies your?
Well, a wonderful woman named Susan Michaels. We've got Lamotrigine.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone's favorite, Zoloft.
Dude, you shake that stuff in the streets,
yeah.
you'll get some attention. That stuff's almost as valuable on Grindr as meth.
Just about. I mean, for people that are called gay, we are not happy at all. But yeah, I've got something called borderline personality disorder, which causes for a lot of trouble. I'm so sorry to everyone in my past. Which is also why I don't drink anymore. 2 years sober in 1 week.
Hey, yeah. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, I learned the hard way that drinking, actually, I'm very happy that I drank so much, because that's how we found out I had borderline personality disorder. Basically, I got Baker acted a while back because I was going between like maniacal laughter and hysterical crying, like back to back, saying all sorts of crazy bullshit one night while I was drunk. And the cops arrived and they breathalyzed me, and I wasn't drunk.
Yeah.
Which was strange. So apparently something that can happen when you have borderline personality disorder and you drink, it basically increases your blood pressure so much, and you get put into a state of mania, and the alcohol just like pumps through your system so fast. So like I always could drink so much and always just keep drinking, and it's because like my body just processed it so quickly. So now I don't drink, and I've been much happier since, thank goodness. And yeah,
wow,
I'm very happy. But it was a wild time. Don't live on Pensacola Beach, because you will become alcoholic for sure.
Dude, well, I'm glad you were able to find some help in that regard. It's because, especially if you're not, if somebody's not seeing a therapist regularly, or in a doctor's office regularly enough to have a comfortable conversation, a lot of that stuff can go unnoticed. So I'm glad. It sucks that it had to be a crazy way to find out, but it's better to know and be able to do something about it than not.
Well, back in high school, I knew something was not right with me, because like literally I would go from 0 to 60 different emotions throughout the day off just a quick switch. And I spoke to my mom about it, and I'm not, in no way do I blame my mom.
No, we don't.
But
We don't think so.
she just always, she said, since I was a child, I was just an emotional kid, you know, and she specializes in, you know, different mental disorders and disabilities. So I think when you are in that field and you have kids, you almost don't register it. Like, you know, it's almost, you know your kids as your kids, and you're not even thinking about them in that way. So I think for a long, and I brought my concerns, and she just like, she didn't brush it off at all. You know, it was, you know, she didn't think I needed medication. You know, she didn't want me to be on medication so young. And then years later, it just all kind of flew off the rails. And I'm just very, very grateful that, I don't think anyone's ever said this. I'm very grateful that I was Baker acted. Because otherwise I would never have known this about myself, and I would be all over the place. I mean, I'm still all over the place, like whatever, but like not like I was.
Yeah, well, I was diagnosed as with bipolar disorder, which is manic depression. It's basically the same thing as a kid, and it's just good to be aware of what you're dealing with. You know, it makes the way that you know handle the process a lot better. And I can only imagine without that information how much harder it would have been to navigate just not having those answers. So I get it. Like getting Baker acted just to find out, you know, that there is a solution to something that you didn't even really know was a problem. It's a good.
And I knew I had like obsessive tendencies and a lot of emotional just disarray, but I didn't know really that it was such a it was a problem until I started reading more about borderline personality disorder with my doctor. And I was like, oh my gosh, every little thing that's on this list describes me. Like, it's a very, very strong emotions, like, but it's in an obsessive way. It's kind of hard to explain, but I have had maybe 2 relationships in my life, and it's also because of the way people with borderline personality disorder get very attached very quickly to people. And so I've always been the one that ended up pushing people away because I was like so into making it work and like everything. And then of course I'm an emotional wreck all the time. So it gave me a little more insight on why my interpersonal relationships weren't really working for a long time even with friends. I mean, like, you know, I've had my share of just outbursts at people I absolutely love. And which I'm sure everybody does, but you know, not as detrimental to the relationship as some of the things that I have. But you know, I just feel strongly about things, you guys.
Well, let's put this through a different lens, and because everybody hears the conversations about comics being traumatized or people being traumatized to make good comics, and you know the people have the opinions of whether or not, you know, all comics are traumatized. What are your thoughts on that? Being somebody that has had struggles, what do you think about trauma and comedy?
Trauma and comedy for me. The funny thing is that I don't really talk about my trauma in my comedy.
Okay.
And I've wanted to, but it's never been something I can sit down and write about. I think it goes hand in hand because of the balance you need in your life. That if you've had trauma, you need comedy.
Yeah.
Like it's not necessarily that, you know, trauma makes good comedians.
Mhm.
It just, people who have had trauma are striving to undo that,
Yeah.
you know, and want to make a better life for themselves, something that they can look back on and be happy about, you know, especially if other people caused you trauma. You want to, you don't want people to feel that way because of you. So the best, you know, I've always just wanted to make people laugh and happy. Like, that's been my whole goal of like my entire freaking life. So I feel like it's just a good counterbalance to whatever trauma you've had, you know. And that's where I feel like it connects for me, is that it pushes me a little further to make someone have a better day or a better night because of what I've been through in the past. I want to make sure I leave an impact that's pleasant, you know. At least.
I think that's a good way to look at it, because it's not that people that have suffered are funny. It's that people who have suffered understand wanting to share happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Just wanted to let that one sit for a minute. Sorry for that.
Pretty profound, dude.
It was a good thought. I like the way that Andrew put it. Yeah, and then you think about something like Nanette, Hannah Gadsby's special that was, you know, borderline comedy but trauma heavy. Like,
Right.
And seeing, you know, comedy is one of those things that sure, there are people out there that want to debate whether Hannah or whether Nanette was comedy, stand-up comedy. What it obviously was. But making something like, it's the epitome of, can I write my trauma? Like, you know, it's like about crushing it, taking your trauma and making it into something entertaining. That's next level shit. I don't know what got me off on that thought. Anyway,
that's something I've always wanted to do. I haven't been able to do it in stand-up, but I've explored my trauma in film before. Because before stand-up, you know, I went to school for film.
What? Tell us. When did you go to school for film? Give us the backstory there.
I absolutely loved it. There's a lot of little short films on YouTube you can find that I've done, but the one that I'm referencing at the moment is called Surrogative. It's about 45 minutes long. Basically, when I was engaged years ago to a man named Tyler, and about 5 months into the engagement, he just told me I was too good for him and all this stuff and this and that. And I was dancing around all this crap. I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on. You just asked me to marry you just a few months ago. And then about 2 months after that, one of my friends was like, hey, have you seen Tyler's Facebook lately? He's like, no, I blocked him. I don't want really anything to do with that right now. She's like, well, you should look at it. And apparently he had gotten a 40-year-old woman pregnant.
What?
Which is impressive.
That is quite an achievement, yeah.
I mean, good for him.
That's a sperm right there.
Yeah. So, and that was a time in my life where I kind of spiraled out. That was like the beginning of my heavy drinking phase, really.
That'll do it.
I went to after I got Baker acted, I started doing therapy, and I came up with this idea that I wanted to write a screenplay based off of my relationship with him, all of our conversations about wanting to get a surrogate and have a child, and just kind of let myself just flesh it out. And I absolutely loved it. It's on YouTube, Surrogative. It's about two gay men looking for a surrogate, and they're interviewing different possible people to do it. And what happens from then on, I'll let you find out.
Spoiler alert.
But it was a necessary thing for me. Like, I would not have. I mean, I would never have thought I'd be over that man and what he did to me. But really, I feel like making that film completely changed that for me. So that is something I've always done, like with film. Is like I'll take things from my life that were traumatic and put it into my film work, but I've never been able to translate it to stand up.
Yeah, it's a whole different medium. It's a tough one. Because you're under obligation to kind of make it funny, whereas in a movie it doesn't have to be funny. But
Yeah,
stand-up
I
really
mean,
does.
the film is funny. It's
Right.
a comedy drama, but like it's
Dark.
not full on comedy.
Right.
Go ahead the whole time. So yeah, for me it's been difficult to sit down and try and come up with some jokes that I don't want it to be too angry, you know, and I also don't want it to be but I also don't want it to be untruthful to what the situation was.
Right.
So it's a hard balance to kind of sit down and write that material.
If you write too much truth, it just ends up as a lecture. It's not supposed to be a lecture. It's supposed to be at least, funny,
Exactly.
But then you can't just be a series of one-liners either. That kind of trivializes it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough balance to achieve.
Yeah.
And even if you do achieve it, like Nanette did, I mean, most people won't appreciate it.
Yeah. Dude.
True.
As Hannah Gatsby found out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've got, I also before that, like my first boyfriend died when I was 21.
What?
So, yeah.
How old was he? You were 21.
He was 19.
Dude.
Yeah, we started dating in high school, and then he ended up having a bad drug interaction, and that was it. And I helped him find that drug. So
Oh dear.
I took a lot like that. I mean, that I won't ever get over, honestly. Like, I still every day think about every moment leading up to that moment. And, I'm working on it. It's called, my therapist says it's called complicated grief. But it's a struggle. He was the first person I ever, I don't know if I was in real love with him, but as a kid, that was the person I loved and the person I first, jump into what I felt was love. So it's affected me for a long time. And I tried to write some jokes on that when I first started. But one that I wrote turned out someone else had already wrote it.
Oh,
I was
dude.
like, what? No.
Oh,
So
I hate it when that happens.
And I was like, I'm never writing about this again.
Yeah. That would be upsetting. Write a good joke, somebody's already done it. That sucks.
It was a
That's
good joke too, and
horrible
but
feeling.
someone better than me already had.
Yeah.
Well, that's the tricky thing about comedy, right? Is that material,
Right.
a lot of times material that we think is unique experience or perspective is not as unique an experience as as it seems at the time. And so when you think about
I mean,
comedy,
it's unique to you.
yeah, but which part is unique to you? Because how many jokes are out there, and haven't all the jokes been written? That's a weird conundrum to be in, because in one moment you think all the jokes have been written, and in the other moment it's, well, maybe you can turn one around backwards and make it new.
Yeah. Yeah, you have a train of thought.
Not to do.
Right.
Don't search keywords from your jokes in Twitter, because you will then have a complete crisis and be like, nothing I've ever done is original, and you'll sit in your room and not do a show for a month because you don't think you should be a comedian anymore. Don't do that. I did it.
Yeah, don't do that. That sounds horrible.
Yeah, that was a suggestion from my dear friend Olivia Searcy, and now I don't take her advice.
She sent you on Twitter.
Yes, I do. I love her. She's great.
She sent
But
you on
she-
Twitter just to
she
get your
put
heart
me in a
broken?
downward spiral from it.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Dude, well, while you were talking about the surrogative, I was reminded that your other YouTube page is the Green Gazebo. So if you want to see the trailer for surrogative, check out Green Gazebo on YouTube, and I imagine it'll get you there, right?
Indeed, it will. Actually, on Facebook as well, there's Green Gazebo Productions, and I'm sure it has like everything I've ever done on there.
Cool.
Because back in the day, I had too many YouTube accounts. They're not all on the same one. It was not smart. But yeah, you can definitely find the full length feature on YouTube too. So.
Cool. Yeah, I found the trailer pretty quick, so I just wanted to give people a point in the right direction if they want to go check it out, which they definitely should.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. You mentioned marketing, with having so many YouTube channels, being a showrunner and being a touring comic, which we can take this either direction. We can talk about the tour that you just did with the Feral Hogs. Or we can take it from the perspective of producer. But when it comes to social media, if we put YouTube in the category of social media, when it comes to social media, it's getting tricky to get the best bang out of your marketing dollars. You got what do you do for success on your side? I mean, Facebook, YouTube, the obvious stuff like that, but did you guys do anything fancy for the tour that you guys did?
You know what? I had nothing to do with anything for that tour. They just asked me to be on it.
Jesus,
they set up
Andrew.
all the dates. They did all the marketing. Bridget Martin is an amazing producer, by the way. If you don't know her, she runs shows at the Comedy Catch in Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she set all of it up. So I owe her for everything. But we did do some fun things throughout. We would go live for our hog followers, and just give them updates on everything, let them know where we're gonna be. And actually, we filmed everything the whole time. So we're gonna actually be putting out a documentary about our tour.
Nice.
Yeah, we're getting everything compiled, and I'm reviewing all the footage, which is a nightmare. But I'm really excited for that. But really, it was just like social media flooding, like getting the word out on every possible, Hillary's fan pages, Hillary's account. We had our Feral Hogs Instagram page, my Instagram page. We were just trying to hit everybody from all angles. And we had sold out shows, and all 3 shows in Hawaii were sold out. That was
nice.
Amazing. Like, you would never have thought they had ever seen stand-up comedy before, because they were freaking out about how amazing the show was. And I was like, I know we're good. I mean, we wouldn't be going on tour if we weren't good. But like, they made us feel like freaking rock stars. I really think that Hawaii is so far away that they maybe don't see comedians very often. But yeah, really, as far as marketing goes, it was just really trying to hit everybody from every angle we could. Just throwing it out there. It's a strange world promoting yourself, because you also don't want to overload. You don't want people to start unfollowing you, because you can hit the unfollow, because that's all they see. So it's a odd balance. Like, it's a little trappy. What is it? Tightrope act you got to run with that. But
little mental gymnastics.
We tried to get people to send us like songs to sing on our road trip, and like, have them ask us questions on Instagram, all that good stuff. Try and get people involved so that they can feel a part of it too. Nice.
Well, and as far as the marketing goes on the production side, like with the P3 Fest, you mentioned sponsors earlier. Do you guys are you doing a lot of that stuff outside of the comedy festival, or is
So,
local marketing still
no,
pretty much the
this is
same?
really the comedy festival is my first real go at that sort of thing. With Yikes, it was really nothing was happening here. People wanted comedy, and I did not want to see the opportunities pass.
Yeah.
So I jumped on. I didn't produce shows really at all before this, so it was kind of a let me jump in and make it happen. And so right now, my favorite thing, honestly, I lend a big thank you to Adobe Photoshop because I just love making the flyers, and that's actually worked out quite well. We go hand out the flyers all over and everything. And, if you've seen the Yikes open mic photos online, they're ridiculous. But they're a good talking piece when you hand the flyer out downtown.
Sure.
Like, there's one weird one that's like, so I found this strange sculptor who just does these weird, like human, chimera type statues. And so I just started using those. And there's this one that's a porpoise man who's holding this woman who's crying. And I put that on the flyer. But every person who got that flyer from us immediately started talking about it and making jokes about it. And I was like, see, they're in for the comedy. And it's funny because we gave out 4 different flyers. One of them being the porpoise one, another one being a lemur, another thing, and another. But the people who got the porpoise flyer all showed up to the show.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's like, I feel like if you can get some advertising out there that's just kind of oddball, that'll just get people talking.
Mm-hmm.
You've done the job without even having to sell them on the comedy. There it is.
Right.
This is the porpoise. This is a good one.
Did that accidentally, right?
But literally everybody on the street, they were joking about it. One guy was just like, I think I can get arrested if I have this. Should I should I throw it away? People, someone just like, how'd you get a picture of me? It was engaging. So
This little porpoise nipple right here. This little porpoise nipple right here. Like, we could talk about that for 5 whole minutes.
Oh yeah. It's a nice nip. That's a slippery nip slip. Oh, wow.
Nice.
Just going through some of your pictures here and this is another one of these that you must have found somewhere.
Are you finding the dog lady?
Yeah. That looks very interesting.
Yeah, I censored her. She's a little too revealing. That is also the same artist as Porpoise Man.
Nice.
But yeah, basically, I think the best thing I did was call it Yikes.
Yeah, that's a good name. It's a really.
It just works, and especially for an open mic, it works.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone gets involved. Like at the beginning of every show, I yell, "Can I get a yikes?" And the whole crowd goes, "Yikes!" So it's fun. And then when people tell like a real like not great joke or something that was way too off color, you'll just hear someone in the audience go, "Yikes!" And it's like, sweet. So it's like we've developed the brand quicker than I thought we would. But I really lend it to Yikes because it gave me also the freedom to do weird shit on the flyers because that's what you say when you look at the flyer. So yeah, that's one of my proudest things that I came up with Yikes for the name because it kind of fits me as well in general.
I like the exclamation mark at the end. That's good. I like a bit of punctuation.
Well, I think you're doing a great job in Pensacola, and those of us that have run shows down there greatly appreciate your effort because rather than me having to try and do stuff in a lot of places. It's much nicer to just give you the list and be like, these are all the places I would be calling, and to see you following up on that is great.
Thank you so much.
Oh yeah,
Because
dude.
it got to a point where no one was going to do it.
Right.
Everyone was comfortable with not doing comedy, which freaked me out. Like, no. I've spent too much time on this to let this just disappear.
Right.
And there was a lot of flack at the beginning of starting it from like one person.
Ugh.
We're not gonna talk.
Ugh.
But I said, yes, it's a pandemic, but there is a way to do it right. I got us an outdoor venue, socially distance, sanitize the mic, sanitize everything, put sanitizer on the table, have masks if people need one, So my thought was that it's not that you can't have a comedy show in a pandemic. It's that you have to have you just have to produce it differently.
Mm-hmm.
You have to look at what the situation is and produce a show the safest way possible.
Yeah.
And we did that, and I'm really proud of that.
Yeah. You good? I like the way you sanitized all the dick jokes before you tell them. That's good.
Oh yeah.
Well,
And after.
Talking about the dissenting voices throughout the pandemic, it's just been a matter of time to watch them swallow their own hypocrisy, because everyone that I've seen come out and say something has come around and has come out and is doing the exact things that they said they weren't going to do. It's just a matter of how far they're willing to sell out what they had to say in the beginning, because even if you agree with all of the professional opinions, there are a multitude of ways that we could have accomplished having comedy scenes perpetuate through the pandemic. That if more reasonable approaches had been made, like you said, to producing the show in the right way for the circumstances, then we wouldn't have had to lose as much. At least not as much time.
Honestly, I respect everyone who had something to say about it too. It was a very strange time in all of our lives. It still is.
Mm-hmm.
And I get the initial hesitation and wanting to say something about it. But at the same time, they were stuck in thinking of what a comedy show was before the pandemic. But I wasn't producing that. I was producing one during the pandemic, which had certain protocol that had to be followed.
Yeah.
And it just, to me, seemed like people weren't willing to think of it as, to me, it was like just a challenge to try and figure out a way to continue to do what we love and make Pensacola laugh. And, if you're just going to sit there and say, we can't do this because of this, this, and this, that's not even looking for a solution.
Right.
Like, I sit there and think that there's no solution, where there are ways to do just about anything. So at the same time, hats off to all of them starting back their shows and such.
Yeah. It's good to see comedy surviving, and there's always going to be that. Like, it's something that comes up. The drama that you see in comedy scenes, because I travel a bit, I get to see a couple of different comedy scenes on a regular basis, and it's the same nonsense. It's always something that has nothing really to do with the actual comedy scene. It's all personal stuff that people, if they would just be nice and be open and be happy people, it would never come up. Like, it's all projecting bullshit on other people. It's, very rarely does it have any founding in reality. Like, I've never seen charges leveled in the comedy community accurately, save a few exceptions, like Mencia. There've been a few where people have been called out appropriately, but for the most part, it's like that Hustle article that came out recently. Alex Price had a great take on it. He was like, man, how horrible do you have to be around that you have to write a thinly veiled passive aggressive article about how you can't get booked? Like, yep, there you have it. That's a good take. It's a good take. But I am happy that this is going on. I'm happy that we are where we're at, and I'm happy to see people that, I mean, there are plenty of people out there that don't like me, and I don't care, but I wish them success, because the more success they have, the more success I'll have in the long run, which, you know, as people who run shows, you know, the more people talk about comedy, the more people talk about comedy. That's good for everybody that does comedy. No point in being a little bitch about it. Just have a good time. It's fucking comedy. If you're not having fun, you're in the wrong field. Anyway, there's my rant. Before we get out of here, do we want to break our good news, or do we want to wait for the next podcast? I mean, do you want to tell him? Do we want to tell him, Andrew?
Am I pregnant? Are each of us pregnant?
We're all three pregnant together.
Yeah.
3 men and a baby.
Can you imagine how sad that poor little baby's gonna be if it had to grow up with us? Oh man, I think we'd actually
probably not sad.
We'd be pretty good. We'd probably be the best dads in the world.
They'd love us.
Between us, like, come on. Between us, we are every cool uncle on the planet. Let's.
And how cool would it be to be like, yeah, I've got 3 dads and only one of them's gay?
And it's not even the one that wears the skirt.
Damn. Well, what I was hinting at is the comedy run. So amongst all the incredible things that you've got going on that we've been talking about and plugging, a little further down the road, we will basically have a Gulf Coast comedy fest every couple of weeks, where we'll have comics coming in from hopefully around the country to do 4 nights in 4 cities, which is something that we've talked about since I became a comic, so for 3 years now, and thanks to you and the help of the landmass comedy scene over there in Mississippi, we're finally going to make it happen. So even more exciting news.
Yep.
Yeah. So look for that in June, once you go and enjoy the P3 Comedy Fest in Pensacola. Anything you guys want to plug before we get out of here, or did I miss any great philosophic questions that we should circle back to? How's everybody feeling?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. Just a few little plugs, you know.
Go, dude.
Plug away.
Show at Dolce and Gelato next Saturday at 7 o'clock.
That's the 17th, right?
I guess it's the upcoming Saturday.
19th.
Not really next anymore.
No, it's the 17th.
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 And then we also are going to be having monthly shows at O'Reilly's downtown the last Sunday of the month. That'll be starting actually in June. And then also we have a monthly show at Odd Colony downtown Pensacola as well. Just kind of keep an eye out on Yikes open mic to see what we've got going. Oh, we also have on the 25th of this month. We'll see how it goes. I mean, this is my little brain baby that I'm not sure is going to work, but I hope it will. It is going to be a musical comedy show called The Clowns of Music, and we're going to feature musical theater acts, stand-up music acts, parodies, all the gamut. If it's got music and comedy in it, we're going to try and showcase. So that's going to be August 25th at Dolce and Gelato from 3 till 6 during the day. It's a little Sunday matinee event.
Nice.
So
Very cool.
if there's any musical comedians out there, because, I've found a few, but not many. I know we're few and far between. But anyone out there who incorporates music into their comedy, please reach out to us. We'd love to have you in Pensacola.
So what you're telling me is I need to start bringing my trumpet around just so I can pretend to be a musical comic.
Nice.
Actually, fuck that. It's not going to be a trumpet. I'm going to bring the tuba.
Don't incorporate music. We will have stand-up comedians that don't have music in their act as well. They just get brought on stage by a musical theater number by yours truly.
I'm bringing the tuba. I'm going to make the tuba part of my act. That's amazing, dude. Well, all the great news on the Sundays, Governor, we might have to reconsider what day we do burning the set list. That's
We can do this anyhow, right? Even if we're on the road or whatever.
to a certain extent we can. Yeah, for sure. But I was just going to say Andrew is such a force of nature that he could move burning the set list all by himself. That'd be impressive.
Sometimes. But I motivate.
Nice.
Dude, this has been a lot of fun, Andrew. I can't thank you enough for joining us. And can't wait to see you on Saturday at Dolce and Gelato. Looking forward to it.
Tickets are available on Eventbrite right now.
Wait, plug that one more time. Dolce and Gelato Eventbrite tickets are where?
Yeah, tickets are available on Eventbrite. Just search for Yikes Comedy Night at Dolce and Gelato. Any of those keywords will probably find it. But I think you can also search by organizer on Eventbrite now. So if you search for Yikes as the organizer, you'll find all of our different events that are happening.
Gotcha. Very cool.
All right.
Dude, well, thank you so much, Andrew, for joining us. Stick around for just a second, and we're going to end this live stream and say hey and all that good stuff. So thanks for joining us, Facebook Live. Until next Sunday, we've been burning the set list. Later.